on the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Yes, Susie, here we go again. I have got something on my mind that I just gotta let go of. So let's do it.
Let me get through the business part and then we'll get rolling on our show. Welcome to episode 457 of the GroomPod, recorded on the last day of August, August 31st, 2025 in Snohomish, Washington and Greenville, South Carolina. This podcast is brought to you by our kind sponsors, Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Groommore, and Stasco. And if you guys would like to support the show, you can do so at our website, thegroompod.com, where you'll find a button that says donate. That button will go straight to Barbara to help pay for her time. And there's a Patreon button there as well. And for that, you can support the show on a monthly or yearly basis. This week on the GroomPod, we're going to talk The Price is Right, or how to decide what to charge. And our Barbara's classroom is going to be about volumizing products. What's new this week is brought to you by Best Shot Pet. Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub. Made from the best stuff on earth. All right, before I let you loose on your tirade, Barbara, I'm going to tell you about two grooming experiences I had that were so much fun. They remind me how much I love my job and how grateful I am to be able to make a living doing it. And the first one is an old client that had a Chihuahua with the worst breath I've ever smelled in my life. His name was Chance. And obviously, it was a short-haired Chihuahua, so all I used to do was his nails and his really disgusting anal glands because the vet had asked me to do them. But I was with them from when it started as a baby, when it got to be an old man. Little old man Chihuahuas are so cute. Anyway, they've waited like 5 years and then finally decided to get a new dog. So what they got was a Heinz 57, we used to call it back in the old days, or a lovely, adorable mix. And when I saw the pictures of this mix, I thought, wow, it looks like a tiny Labrador, but its tail curls up a little bit more on its back. Well, when I got there, I found out it was tiny. It's a little bit bigger than a Chihuahua. And they said, well, we can't figure out what it is, and it seems so shy, and we're not sure what we have and how to deal with it. And I said, I'm your girl. We got this. You guys are experienced dog people. Don't overthink everything. And I took it out and gave it a bath. His name is Rocco, and he has wire hair. You wouldn't know it until you put your hands on it. It looks like lab hair, but it's wire hair. And then I noticed a really severe chest and tuck-up curve, like really deep chest and short legs and a little bit turned out feet. And I went, it's a Chiweenie. It's a Chiweenie. It's a wire-haired Chiweenie. And the dog is spectacular. There's a huge personality inside of this dog who just doesn't know what's hit him yet. He's only been there for like a week and a half. He's been neutered. He's had all his shots. He's been passed to 2 different people in between. So it was so much fun. I love to play Name That Dog. It's one of my favorite games, and I was like puzzled because I hadn't seen him stand up, and what is it? And interesting hair. No, definitely a Chiweenie. Chihuahua head, long body, deep chest, high tuck up, character. Lot of character. And howls. Just the cutest little guy. And that was my first fun grooming experience. My second fun grooming experience is one of those that happens when your childhood friend calls you with their dog that needs grooming. In this case, a fairly large American Eskimo that I have done over the years on occasions, but she's economically challenged in a lot of ways. They do own their house, but she's a person who has no money and collects animals like crazy. It's driven me nuts ever since I was little. And, she wanted to have 8 kittens and then keep them all and things like that. And I get it. And she's my friend and I'm loyal to her. But I get this story that they took the daughter's dog, the American Eskimo, whose name is Band-Aid, which I think is a funny name. It's one I never, it's a unique one. So they took Band-Aid into a new groomer who opened up in the neighborhood that I work in, and that's where Jackie lives. And they could not get the mats out of the dog, and they wanted to shave her. And Jackie was like, no, Susie never shaves her. Don't do that. Don't do that. And, which I was proud that she called that off. So they did shave her little tummy. But I think, and I'm only guessing because I wasn't there, that they must have then washed her afterwards and put an HV dryer on her. The dog wigged. I mean, she just freaked out. So they called her and had Jackie go pick up the dog. And then she called me. Why she didn't call me first, I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe embarrassment. But by the time I got over there and I saw the dog, it was in such bad shape. I mean, the back was a solid packed butt mat, and even the feathering was matted, and the neck roll was like a mane of tangles. And so I told her that I understood why the girl said what she did, but let me see what I can do. So I took the dog in. I bathed it in Best Shot with some extra the Max in. I had to do 2 baths. There were things in the dog's coat, unidentifiable things, like from the yard and stuff. I mean, really weird. Maybe there was a slug in there. It's possible there was some tape. I mean, just stuff that added to the collection of matting. Then I took the Best Shot, 1 shot, because the dog stunk, deodorizing conditioner, and I added more of the Max in that, and I just really worked it through the coat, every inch of that coat, and I made sure I got it down to the skin. Then I put the dog on my table and I started to dry. And as I dry, I could see the netting of the mats in especially the back end. So I took my really small sharp scissors and I just went through and I sliced them in the direction of the hair in a lot of different places. All over, everywhere there was really tight tangles, including on his chest and behind underneath the arms. And then I worked it through with Flex It, the little one that I got that is the softest one that he makes, which really is softened up even better, and I really love it. I was able to tap a lot of that stuff right out just by hitting it with the end of the slicker and just letting it grab and pull the loose hairs out. And then, lo and behold, the magic happened, and I was standing in this whole trailer just full of hair whirling around me as everything was letting loose on this dog. I did have to shave like the Gothic window part of the back legs where it was just disgusting with urine and stuff like that. And I took out a few mats that had the foreign bodies in, but for the most part, I saved the entire coat. The dog was glowing white. It looked like a different dog. She was so happy. I took off all her little slippers because her feet looked like abominable snowman feet. They were just huge with mats and it was just crazy. But that was so gratifying just to be able to save that coat that somebody else couldn't and or wouldn't. That just made me feel spectacular. The dog's happy. Jackie was blown away by the effort. And it didn't take me that long. It took me probably an hour and 45 minutes to do the entire start to finish. But to save an entire coat on a large size. Thank you, Best Shot. Thank you, Exit Brush from Groomer's Helper. The free Flex-It brush that I got helped me save this dog's coat. So anyway, really cool. All right. Well, that was all my grooming excitement. I enjoyed both of those grooms. They were both yesterday. So I'm like, yeah, I love my job. I'm so grateful for my job. I may not always love the industry because we seem to have a sour industry thing happening right now, but not here, not on the GroomPod, and definitely not in my grooming trailer.
Not on the GroomPod. Although I have a rant.
Go for it.
Well, here's what happened. So I was looking up shampoos to try to detective out what are the go-to volumizing ingredients in for the pet shampoos. I could have done my usual thing, which is to look at a bunch of human shampoos, get a better idea. But instead, I said, let's just stay within the industry. And so I looked up a bunch of shampoos. And one of the ways that I have of finding out ingredients is to check to see if a product is on the Pet Edge website because Pet Edge, thank you, Pet Edge. Pet Edge seems to be encouraging vendors to list ingredients
Yay!
um, because I find a number of ingredients. Every now and then I run into something that doesn't have the ingredients there, but by and large, even more than Cherry Brick, who did that for a while. Cherry Brick, I could tell for a while they were like insisting on ingredient disclosure. Um, but that's no longer true because they don't give a shit now with the new owners. So as I was perusing Pet Edge, I happened to go there and it had what's new. So I said, oh, let me just see what's new on Pet Edge. And I hit what's new, and there it was. Davis Manufacturing Triclosan deodorizing shampoo.
Wait, what?
I couldn't believe my eyes. Susie, triclosan was banned from human bathing products in 2016.
Wow.
And there were as a slew of reasons for that, including, let me look at my notes because I want to be accurate here. We go around thinking that the United States doesn't ban anything and Europe does, and so on and so forth. Well, not true with triclosan. There is an incredible amount of science to support the ban of triclosan. And what happened was that it was so available and it was so easy to work with that so many companies incorporated triclosan as a disinfectant in hand washing soaps and body soaps and all kinds of cleaning products and soaps. And then, sure enough, a decade or two later, they discovered that this stuff was lingering in the environment. And they also had enough accumulated animal studies to cause some real health concerns. Mainly, the main health concerns are about causes hormonal problems and liver tumors and in mice. And I mean, it was undeniable. The evidence is undeniable. And the concern with it, like it's not breaking down in the environment as expected. It was lingering in the environment and affecting waterways, drifting into ponds and lakes and rivers. And
What is its function?
it's a disinfectant.
Okay.
It's an antimicrobial.
Okay.
So it kills all the bacteria. But it's same problem as with chlorhexidine. It kills all the bacteria on the animal. I mean, it's not just like we're washing their hands, we're washing the whole damn dog. Plus, the recommended usage is to leave it on 5 to 15 minutes.
Oh,
It's not even a quick rinse. I mean, like
that's a long time of contact.
Oh, yeah, like hand washing is like 20 seconds, right? Recommended 20 seconds of hand washing. Well, that's not 5 to 15 minutes. So we're putting this triclosan all over their body, all over their skin, and then leaving it to sit 5 to 15 minutes and rinsing it off. And it's going into our waterway. So it's adding to the antibiotic resistance problem worldwide. Triclosan is a chemical that is found in people's tissues worldwide. And they just had to say, we can't let this go on like this. So they greatly reduced, and of course, it was a lot of back response and companies that said you're crazy, we won't do it, and they said yes you will, and so the United States banned triclosan,
But just for people.
but just for people and not everything. It's still found in a couple of toothpastes and in some maybe hair treatments. But I worry so much about a deodorizing shampoo because in our minds, it's sort of like what we do every day,
Yeah, a regular use product.
regular use every day, and you would be inclined to use a deodorizing shampoo. It's fairly cheap, like 56 a gallon. Um, so you'd use that a lot. And the more you use it, the more you're contributing to this uh, real considerable problem of allowing for the development of antimicrobial resistance. There's evidence that it completely changes an animal's microbiome. So it kills the friendly bacteria that are on the skin that kill the bad stuff. So you're leaving an animal more susceptible to skin infections by using this antimicrobial as a simply every bath deodorizing, or just because there's an odor problem when the chances are pretty good you can find another way to get rid of the odor, like best shot, one shot.
So tell me this. Did they take this product off the market and then reintroduce it? Is that what happened?
Yes,
Oh, that's bad.
it's been gone. All of the deodorizing shampoos for a while, a lot of them used triclosan. Equus used triclosan, and that was a popular brand before 2016 because I used it a lot. Well, Equus got rid of it. This one, Davis, has disappeared. They all disappeared off the shelves, and we were stuck with other options. Well, it's back, and there's no, like there's no cop, there's no ingredient cop for animal products. There's nobody that can contact them and say this ain't right. It's not against the law. There's no legal basis for triclosan to be banned in animal products, but the all the science that points to dangers for humans were done on animals. It's just greedy. It's just fucking greedy.
I wonder if they looked at their history and found the shampoos that were selling strongly and then decided to bring this back for that reason, because it just seems like a bad idea. And for those of us who do have a choice at what you use, don't use products with triclosan because it puts you at risk as well as the pets at risk. Icky. Boo.
There's evidence leaning towards that it causes liver cancer. There's evidence, there's science. that suggests that it has effects on the thyroid and thyroid function. I already said kills off all the good bacteria on the skin. We're not talking about the scalp or the hands. We're talking about soaking the whole animal. They list triclosan first ingredient, but they don't say what percentage. They're not even treating it like chlorhexidine. I'm pissed. I am so pissed. I might have to try to contact them. Not that I want to dance with Davis Manufacturing again because they weren't good dancers back in the day. I don't expect them to have any better moves today.
Well, just say no, people. Just say
Just
no.
say no. Yeah, please don't buy this shit. And the same thing, don't use a chlorhexidine shampoo as a prophylactic. Don't use an antimicrobial shampoo as a prophylactic, as a preventative, or, like as an every bath thing. There should be evidence of dis, a dis, evidence of bacterial beyond odor. Yes, odor does tell you that there's bacteria present and plenty of it in order for us to smell it. But not every incidence of bad odor needs an antimicrobial. You can just soap and water. See, this is another thing. They found out that cleaning your hands with soap and water accomplished as much as cleaning your hands in the triclosan hand soaps.
And since I'm definitely a person who believes in the petri dish, in other words, you need to expose yourself to some of the yucky stuff for your body to know what to fight off. I say you want to do soap and water over an antibacterial anything at this point to give your body a fighting chance to learn how to fight it off.
But on the other hand, if you're going to use like a triclosan shampoo as a deodorizer, you better wear gloves, please.
Good point.
The same thing goes for chlorhexidine. If you're going to do chlorhexidine, several shampoos in a day, please wear gloves.
Good advice, Barbara.
There's something to be said about wearing gloves. Hairdressers nowadays are much more likely to be wearing gloves around all day because there is so much that is seeping into their systems. My friend Jody said his hairdresser of many, many years died of cancer, and it turns out that it's a cancer that's been associated with hairdressing chemicals.
They don't die of chemical exposure. They're going to die curled up in the fetus position because of bad posture. They're going to be like that chihuahua that or poodle got carried around their whole lives. They can't straighten up anymore. So, folks, listen. Pay attention to your posture while you're grooming. I catch myself sometimes slumping over and I try to correct it. Correct your posture,
Oh,
keep
yeah.
upright because nobody wants to walk around looking at the ground for their last 20 years of life. And yet, that's exactly what happens to a lot of the hairdressers.
Boy, I know. I saw this woman, this old lady at the grocery store, supermarket. I felt so bad for her. She couldn't hold her head up. It would just fall down again.
Don't let that be you.
She was like permanently looking at the ground. And it wasn't that she was slumping, she no longer had any muscular control of her neck.
Yes, let that be a warning.
That's another that's another frightening element. Now, since we said we're going to be a cheery podcast today, and I started right out with some fear mongering. Yes, I want to put some fear in you that you could be harming the dogs you're bathing if you're bathing them with a triclosan shampoo. Period. Got it?
Got it. Okay, let's take a break and hear from our sponsors, and then we're coming back with our first appointment. The Price is Right, how to decide what to charge. And just in case you're wondering, AI helped me with the introduction. So, full disclosure here. If you haven't found Groomore, you're missing out. Groomore is an all-in-one software solution for your grooming business. Whether you are a solo mobile groomer or manage several shops, Groomore has everything you need. 24-hour online booking and forms, routing, credit card processing, reminders, Google Calendar and QuickBooks integration, and so much more. And the best customer service anywhere. Shop mobile or house call, Groomore has you covered. And they're giving us a free month. Just enter GroomPod22 in the coupon code. Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. Today we're tackling a question that every groomer faces. How much should I charge? We'll dive into the nitty-gritty of pricing, from the importance of breed and coat condition to factoring in your time and overhead. We'll share our decades of experience to help you set prices that are not only fair to your clients, but also profitable to your business. And the truth of it is, setting your prices is part of the success or failure of your business a lot of times, especially if you've got your own shop and it's a one-man shop. If you don't set your prices right, you're going to go down in a pile of flames. So let's talk about some of the factors that are involved in how you decide what to charge. And in the old days, I'm not a fan of this, but people used to print out a sheet with every dog breed on there and the price for a bath and the price for a groom. And then at the vet hospital I worked at, hand that to the receptionist so she could quote prices. And it was awful. It was never accurate. Did you ever work one of those places where they had the big list of dog breeds with prices just randomly attached?
No, we never did. I never learned to do it that way.
It's horrible.
Always did it on kind of an individual basis.
Right. Yeah, and which works great if you're not in a big vet hospital. It's really difficult when you're not the person checking in the dogs.
That's a deal breaker for me. If the groomer doesn't have interaction with the customer at intake, it leaves a door open for so much trouble.
And less tips, because if you don't have a personal connection with the person who you're grooming the dog for, they're less likely to give you a big tip.
That's right.
It was not an effective way of listing dogs. So the next way that people do it is by weight. You know, what does the dog weigh? But doing a German Shepherd bath is a lot different than doing a lab bath. There's quite a bit more involved in one over the other, oftentimes. And that also is not a very good way of setting prices. I've seen as well the haircut or the bath or the type of haircut, which, especially if you're in a shop where there's multiple groomers with different skill levels and different areas of expertise, that's yet another difficult way to quote prices. I think one of the biggest influences is the condition of the coat and the grooming interval. Like, for instance, then there's always a story involved. You get a dog, walks in the front of your shop, and you take a look at him. Luckily, nobody has made the mistake of quoting them a price over the phone. They've just come in the door like a cold call. And you put your hands on the pet and you can feel it's very tangled. Then you ask the owner, how often do you usually like to get your dog groomed? And if they say every month and the dog is horribly matted, well, that's an indicator right there that maybe you don't want to take them on. But it's also an indicator that you better quote them a really high price if you do decide to take them on, because the likelihood is their dogs are going to be in this shape regularly and they're not going to come in at a regular interval. But if they give you a story like, oh my gosh, my groomer passed away, which is what happened in our neighborhood, and I haven't been able to find someone to take my dog, and now it's been home for 5 months and I'm uncomfortable with the options I have, so now I finally found you and I will like to keep the dog on a monthly schedule. Well, then I'm going to maybe quote a little bit lower price on that one. But I'll never, ever, ever give a solid price as a quote. I won't say your dog's going to be $85 or your dog's going to be $110. I won't do it.
I won't do it either.
Sets you up for
No.
failure right there.
Yeah.
Have no way to adjust. Because, for instance, if you get underneath the dog's coat and you find that it blows out, well, I don't have to charge her $125 for that dog because basically it was pretty doggone easy to get that hair out of the dog. But if you get a doodle and you're going to have to spend a bunch of time shaving down a 120-pound dog, well, that's an entirely different kind of a groom and it takes a lot different time. And then when the last grooming was, that's also a good way to tell how well they're going to maintain their coat. And the length of the nails. And I know we know the signs. We all know the signs.
And the dog's behavior is such a important factor in how much time it's going to take.
It's huge.
I ask about that. How did he get along with his last groomer?
Why did you leave your last groomer? That's another good one.
I've asked that. Why did you switch?
Do you ask any lifestyle questions like what do you guys like to do with your dog? Does your dog go with you in the car? Does your dog mostly stay home?
Oh, yeah, especially in Arizona because there's a lot of sort of like hiking and, trudging through the desert. So do you hike? I mean, that makes a big difference. Or is he just out in the yard? Is your yard grass or is it natural? And is he in the pool?
Oh, in the pool.
That's an extra 10, $15 right there in the pool.
Yeah, you're going to need to condition that hair a little extra. Medical issues, special needs type medical issues. You've got to take those into account as well. And a lot of that stuff is kind of unpredictable. You almost have to groom the dog once to really be able to narrow down how long it's going to take you to help that three-legged dog stand for the grooming, how much they can tolerate, those kind of things. Whether you need to do start to finish, that might alter your price depending on if that's a special service for your shop or if that's the normal way you operate. Also, important in setting your prices is knowing, as I talked about last week, the cost of doing business for you personally. Every one of us has a different nut that we have to cover in our grooming. Like, are we renting a business? Do we have a van payment? Are we paying for gas and insurance with that van as well? There's a lot of different variables in each one of our different situations because grooming has 1,000 different situations you can groom out of, different ways you can groom.
Professional association membership should be considered as a part of your overhead.
So is all your continuing education. Any grooming seminars, you need to be able to do those without causing yourself hardship because it's part of your grooming business. It's part of being a good groomer and a thoughtful groomer and a progressing type of a groomer that cares whether you get better or not. That stuff can all be included. Also, your medical should be included. It is at other people's jobs. Why aren't you including that in your cost of doing business in your single operating job? Got to include the...
Yeah, I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
Yeah. My health insurance is absolutely included in my cost of doing business.
I just held my breath till I turned 65.
You've got a lot of color on you for having held your breath for that long. Quite a while. Yeah, these are all things that go. What doesn't go in there is like your groceries for the day, eating lunch, unless you're doing a business lunch or something like that. You got to know what you're allowed to deduct and what you're not. I always recommend using a professional for your taxes because it gives you an added lump of security. But you need to know what it costs to groom one dog. Like, do the math, divide it out, figure out what it costs. Like, it cost me $55 to roll up to a house and groom one dog. That doesn't include my time. That's just the basic expenses of my grooming.
I was just remembering, I had one customer, and Pam still occasionally listens into the GroomPod
Hi, Pam.
to see how I'm doing, even though, she's in Tucson and I'm in South Carolina. We determined that her charge was $75 plus a bottle of wine.
That's totally fair.
And that was her suggestion because she had heard me say I loved it when people paid me in wine. Yeah, have you ever done any trade offs?
Oh, absolutely. I do lots of trading. I used to trade for my chiropractic appointments. I trade for candy. I'll work for pie, Pepsi's. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. I'm pretty good that way. Just ask.
Yeah, I do it seriously, but not too seriously. That's just the way that I did business. And I think you're kind of that way too.
Throw it out there, see if it sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's great. That's the individual part of making a price is you got to know the pain in the neck clients, charge a little more for them, the talkers, the people who are late. You know all this stuff and you kind of add it into your price. And in my opinion, you never ever tell the client, well, it's X amount of dollars plus 5 for behavior and 3 for dematting and 2 for your whatever, bow, whatever. I don't do it that way. I have a one price. I don't charge a travel fee. It's just, this is the price.
And that's your price for your dog. Yeah, I know. I used to do that too. I just hate the veterinary model. I mean, they're just like itemizing everything, and then you get it $40 for a rabies shot plus $20, and I for a shot that I didn't even want to give them. Uh, uh, uh. I don't even want to see all those itemized things. Just tell me the amount.
So I think it confuses people when you do the travel charge or the upcharge for certain things.
It just it makes people think you're nickeling and diming them to death. That's how they see it. It might not be how you intend it to be. You intend it to be explanatory. But sometimes when you break it down, it just seems like,
It's a little overwhelming.
yeah, thank
Yeah,
you, overwhelming, just like overblown.
for sure.
It then allows them to do like what I just did. $40 for a rabies shot that I could have given myself. Well, I can't give it myself because I can't license the dog.
When it's broken down into a gazillion pieces, it gives people negotiation points to negotiate away items that are
Yeah.
on your list. Whereas if you give them a solid single price, this is what it costs, or a range of prices, like if I can't get the matting out, it'll be this, and if not, it'll be this, but I won't go over this kind of thing. You give them a little range, but a solid top.
I used to do a lot of price ranges. The minimum, it's going to be at least $75 and it might be 90.
That's how I do quotes. My base charge is X amount, and depending on how long it takes me, this is what it will be the per hour or whatever. Which brings me to my favorite way of pricing, which is pricing yourself hourly. It takes a little time because you have to know your grooming capabilities. But here's the way I've done it. You figure out over like the course of, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks, you time yourself and you write it down. I did a Shih Tzu, it took me an hour and 20 minutes. I did a poodle, it took me 3 hours. Okay, that's just me, but I did this kind of a schnauzer in this kind of a haircut and it took me this hour. So you time yourself out a little bit so you get kind of a concept of how much time it takes you to do each particular groom that's in those 2 weeks. Then, as I said before, you need to make sure you know what it costs you, in this case, to cover the amount of your bills and costs for a month. So I do it by the month because it's easier to figure the individual hourly wage that way. So you time yourself, you figure out how much you need to make per month to cover your costs. Then you find out how much you need to live at home. Like, what is the minimum amount of money you can deal with per month to pay your bills at home? That will be your salary part. And then approximately how many dogs you want to do. Then you add it all up together, divide by the amount of dogs you want to do, and you come up with kind of an hourly wage. It's a little more detailed than that, but the ballpark is You need to know how much you need to make, you need to know what it costs you, and you need to know how much you got to cover for your house and your and all that stuff. And then come up with an hourly price. And then you can quote people. It's $100 an hour. I go $100 for the first hour and 85 for the second hour. That's how I work it. And that makes it easy for people to understand because most of us have worked an hourly job somewhere along the line. And then you're not using all the variables of what dog, and what temperament, and what the people do, and all that. You just know how long. And then the first couple times you do the dog, you time yourself. And then if you need to adjust it, you adjust it as you go along and you let them know, you didn't quite guess it right. Here's what we're doing. And that works pretty well. Then there's no surprises for anybody involved. Also, if you find yourself working longer on a dog than you think you will, call and let the people know that you're using up your time and what would they like to do. You can go on for another half an hour. It'll cost them an additional $40, or you can stop now and we'll work on it next time, or they can work on it at home. Give them some options. And then they'll probably choose to just leave the dog with you and let you add the extra amount on there. So anything else to add about picking your price?
No, I think you've covered that very well.
Ha! Well, then let's take a break. And then we'll be back with B-Bird's Classroom, where we're going to talk about volumizing.
Show Season has a great enzymatic cleaner called Kennel Fresh. And you dilute it with warm water and it smells good, and then it evaporates to be a deodorant. As the Kennel Fresh dries, it's enzymatic, it eats the bacteria and the odor source. So it's really good stuff. You can use it indoors or out. Find it at your local distributors or showseasongrooming.com.
The GroomPod and Precision Sharp would like to invite you to check out the newest precise cut shear called Lynx. Its patented design features a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it, lock it into place, and get your best grooms on. Check it out at precisionsharp.com. Groomers, take your seats. It's time for B-Bird's Classroom.
Well, Susie, so I got curious about volumizing shampoos, and I wanted to determine kind of what ingredients seem to work for a claim of volumizing, which is kind of a perception claim. And also, I got interested in volumizing my own hair.
I wondered if that's what spurned this on.
Yeah, so often it has something to do with my own journey and my own hair. And I found a spray that I really like that doesn't damage my hair. I had to stop using mousse to scrunch it up and give me volume.
Really?
Well, because I just don't shampoo my hair enough, and it was really contributing to a lot of breakage and hair fall and tangling of the precious ends. And so I stopped doing that, and for months I have been kind of going around with flattened, kind of lifeless hair. So I thought, well, let's look and see what we're doing in the grooming profession for volumizing. And it was interesting. Well, and as a matter of fact, I discovered the Triclosan deodorizing shampoo while I was, one thing leads to another.
Yeah, always.
You start searching, oh yeah, and I bought more product for myself. Now I found a repair product that I've got to try something because I lose so much hair. And how do I have anything? Look at, I mean, it seems like I've got for 85 years old, I've got a lot of hair, but anyway. So I've got about 8 shampoos to run through and tell you what I found out about them. All right, so shall we go?
Yes.
First one that I came across was Hydra volumizing shampoo, and they use hydrolyzed wheat protein and hydrolyzed keratin protein. Those are probably the two most common ingredients used for volumizing, and those have been used for a couple of decades now. And what happens is that the hydrolyzed protein adheres to the hair shaft and it just gives each hair shaft a little tiny boost of thickness. It makes it a little bit thicker because as hair shafts are damaged and scratched, I mean, it's cracking and all the little chipping away at them, they actually become thinner in width with increased and accumulative damage. And of course, 85-year-old hair has been, I mean, I'm sure it hasn't been with me for 85 years,
That's funny. I was just
but
thinking that. I'm like, wow, I wonder if there's a hair that's been there the whole time.
I wonder, if
Yes.
it is, it's underneath here because underneath in the back of my head, I have hair that's my original color. And I thought I had mostly white hair, but what has happened is that a lot of my white hair has broken. Rarely do I see a whole length of hair, a whole hair shaft. I just see broken pieces falling all over, and I'm just kind of known for it. So, anyway, hydrolyzed wheat protein and hydrolyzed keratin protein are pretty common. Isle of Dogs volumizing keratin protein. It contains keratin protein. Well, hello. And it contains keratin amino acids. So hydrolyzed protein is broken down. The longer you hydrolyze, the longer you cook it. Basically, it's like boiled. The longer you cook it, the more it breaks down into its component parts. In this case, amino acids. And amino acids are more likely to be absorbed into the hair and give volume kind of from within each hair strand, just a little bit.
So the keratin works on the outside and the protein works on the inside?
Well, no, keratin is the protein.
Got it.
Keratin amino acids, so they might be purchasing an ingredient that's already broken down pretty far into amino acids. And, like, who knows, they very possible they can separate according to size in the manufacturing, in the hydrolyzing facility, and keep the bigger pieces for jobs that are more for coating the hair.
Okay.
Now, iGroom is interesting because guess what? They have two volumizing shampoos right now.
Oh,
iGroom number one, the Voom volumizing shampoo.
well, it's a catchy name.
Yeah, the Voom.
I like it.
There's certain things that I do like about iGroom, even though they were kind of purchased. And the secret sauce here is keratin protein. So then there's another one, and this is the iGroom Extreme Volume Shampoo. This is the one with the polyquaternium 110. Polyquaternium 110 is a polyquat that has a branched shape. And so when this quat connects to the hair shaft outside, it has branches that stick up and boost the hair because of these molecular branches within. Ooh, isn't that something? I think it's so cool.
Ooh, ah.
And this ingredient has been tested and tested. And it had the company that makes it, um, oh, I have graphs. I'm going to post the whole article about the testing of polyquaternium 110 and how they have supported the claims because it's a good. Actually, I posted the link to this article on the shampoos group sometime late last week as I was just like kind of doing this and said, oh, let me throw this out to them. It sort of went over their heads. So now I will put it on my blog and it'll be there forever if anybody wants to look at how chemical suppliers who create the chemical ingredients for shampoos, how they support their claims by testing within their house, right?
So that'll be on the groompod.com under the blog tag as soon as Barbara gets it to me, and then I'll post it up.
Yep, I will. I just have to write it up, or
Okay.
I might just copy the link. So that's the iGroom Extreme Volume Shampoo. And I would, if I had the money, I would buy one of each of these, but I don't have the money. This is why I beg of you, if you got a little something extra that you can put in my pocket, it will help me buy these things. So then I don't have to go beg the company. And when the company knowledgeably gives me things, they want something in return, like a good review. And I can't promise that. And so in this case, I would like to compare the Vavoom with the Extreme Volume iGroom shampoos. Botanica, Botanica Volume Up shampoo. They have a novel ingredient. It's cotton extract. Now, I
Really?
don't exactly know how this works, but they say this shampoo adds space between each hair strand, helping maintain the texture and volume. Space, how does space? I that almost sounds like ionic forces. That sounds like bullshit to me.
Oh, you mean it sounds like. Hang on.
A bull patty. Bull
There you
patty.
go.
Sounds like bull patty talk.
That's hokey.
Yeah, well, you could test it simply by taking the same dog and bathing it in something else.
Half and half. Divide it
Oh,
in
heaven.
half. That'd be fun.
But in fact, they say cotton extract, but it's actually cotton seed extract. So
Oh,
it's not cottony I mean, when you look at cotton extract, you kind of think of cotton balls, puffy cotton. And actually, there have been human hair volumizing products that do deposit micro cotton on the hair shaft.
what's the difference between this cottonseed extract and cottonseed oil?
Cotton extract would be the whole plant dissolved, and cotton seed is actually going to be the oil.
Okay.
That's what I would say. What are you finding?
I'll tell you in a sec.
Okay, people, she's fact checking her expert. That's how Susie is.
I'm curious. The primary difference between cottonseed extract and cottonseed oil lies in their composition, and the process used to obtain them, and their intended uses. Cottonseed oil is a specific type of vegetable oil, a lipid that is extracted from the seeds of the cotton plant. It is primarily composed of fatty acids, including polyunsaturated fats like linoleic acid, monosaturated fats like oleic acid, and some saturated fats. Cottonseed extract is broader and can refer to various compounds and more concentrated form of ingredients derived from the cottonseed. So it could be oil,
Okay.
but it might not be.
Got it. I
Okay.
stand corrected.
Well, we didn't know. That's why we
I
looked these things up.
proudly stand corrected. We are a team.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Botanica, cottonseed extract. I have kind of a meh response to that. So then, how about Chris Christensen, Thick and Thicker?
Yeah, how about that? Because that's an old standard.
Yeah, well, the Thick and Thicker stuff itself was an old standard, but the shampoo is more recent. It's hydrolyzed keratin and bamboo shoot extract. Bamboo shoot extract, I looked it up to see, is this a real deal? And AI said, yes, bamboo extract is considered a volumizing ingredient in hair care, but it doesn't add volume instantly like a styling spray. Instead, it works over time by strengthening and nourishing the hair, which leads to a fuller and healthier appearance. The key to its effectiveness is its high concentration of silica.
Oh,
So I didn't go in and look at all of the Chris Christensen Thick and Thicker products because Chris Christensen is another takes me to the fuck zone because
Barbara's getting her buttons pushed today. Not the good buttons either.
because of the way they list their ingredients, they just stumbled upon this method of mixing up the order in which they appear to have no coordination with the volume of the ingredients in the product. And it's so devious. And the people that took over didn't catch that. Then we can jump to the Heineken Program Volume Shampoo, which is a relatively new shampoo on the Pet Store Direct website. And Heineken Program shampoos come from Australia, and it's the company that I used to work for that brought me over there and stuff. And they sold out to Heineken. So, Program Volume Shampoo is a hydrolyzed wheat protein and warata extract. What?
Warata?
Say this, Waratah. Warata. Okay, so it's native to Australia. So, of course, it's a native plant. It's a conditioning, anti aging, whitening, antioxidant, and anti acne agent. It repairs damaged hair, promotes this is bullshit. Promotes growth of healthy hair, increases thickness and health in hair, and reduces wrinkles, provides photo protection. Watara flower cellular extract is suitable for hair and skin applications, period. That's a bit of a stretch to me.
Does it cure constipation and diarrhea too? It's got everything on that list.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's got good hydrolyzed wheat protein in it though. And I liked their shampoos. So that so Procream is now available in the United States through Pet Store Direct. And here the ultimate shampoo that sends me to the fuck zone. Hyponic Pro Volume Conditioner. They don't have a shampoo. This is one of the things that they say. They say plant derived ingredients add vitality to flattened waves to maintain a long lasting, rich volume. Now, you're going to give them the benefit of the translation,
Okay.
but still, they have over 30 botanical ingredients, most of them Chinese medicine ingredients that at the most are antioxidant and some have anti-inflammatory properties, but there's no sense. Turmeric extract. Susie, turmeric extract. Ginseng.
I'm scratching my head. Aren't these things you have to eat? You have to eat that for it to do its thing. Oh, well, I don't know that for sure. It just seems like it.
Chinese medicine uses some of these ingredients topically, but not in this kind of a soup. How can any single ingredient do its thing when it's in a soup of over 29 other ingredients and oils and extracts?
That many oils, it would seem like it would be a little difficult to mix it in. There must just be little teeny tiny amounts.
It's all just little teeny tiny amounts. I looked up some of these things. It's going to make me say it. It's got licorice root extract.
Mmm. Oh, right. No, not for hair. Not for hair, for my tummy.
For hair. Yeah. Licorice root extract. It's got Chinese chrysanthemum extract, ginseng root extract, spearmint extract, mushroom extract, on and on and on. It's just total freaking bullshit. Oh, Patty! They can't impress me. They only irritate me because I can't pronounce them, and I'm not willing to spend a great deal of time pronouncing something that I don't think is an efficacious ingredient.
So in this case, those multi-syllable words are not your friends, not like the regular ingredients.
I know botanical names are really the hardest. Here's one I don't know if it's even misspelled. Cnidium.
Snivium? Is it a quat? It's got IUM in it.
It's a root extract.
Oh, okay.
Lycium Chinese fruit extract. Morris alba bark extract. Eclipta prostrate. Prostrata extract. But anyway, not to bore you to death with my ranting about hyponicus, you know what? They have pushed my buttons from the day one. However, we did get them to stop saying no surfactants were used in making this shampoo. Remember that in the beginning?
Well, that's good because that's a lie.
They cut that lie out. But there's
Good.
just all this other nonsensical stuff. Not only do you not need to have 30 plus extracts and botanical ingredients, it would just destroy a shampoo to have anything more than the teeniest. I mean, you probably have less than 1% of the whole combination.
How effective is that?
There is no science that says that these 30 some extracts work synergistically together. There's no study done. There's no study done of all of these together. I hate that. It's just trying to impress you with how natural is that. Okay, so the botanicals outweigh the chemicals, right? But The chemicals are just the same old shit. Ammonium lauryl sulfate, ammonium lauryl sulfate, cocamidopropylbutane, sodium lauryl sulfate. There's a whole lot of sulfates in there. Cocamide, MEA, polyquaternium 10. I would buy the iGroom if we're going to talk Chinese products. I would buy the iGroom over the Hyponicum any day.
So the big picture, mostly it's the keratin.
Keratin is used because it's keratin
Oh,
and hair is keratin. But there's no evidence to indicate that keratin amino acids are any better than wheat protein amino acids at volumizing hair. It's the protein. Any soy protein is used in some cases. Soy protein is fine.
okay.
I wrap up.
Wrap it up and put a bow on
I
it.
forgot that part. I think that you need to control your expectations.
Okay. That's good advice just in general, but definitely specific advice for this situation. Manage those expectations.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that was fun, Barbara. I like that. This was a good show. I enjoyed hearing myself talk, as I always do, and I especially enjoy hearing you talk, because it's a little break from hearing me talk.
Well, works the other way around, honey.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for being here, everybody. Remember to support our sponsors, support Barbara, support the podcast, like and share, do all of those neat things. Tell your friends about us, because we're still putting out content 10 years later. Woohoo! And happy grooming, everyone. See you next time on the GroomPod. Bye-bye now.
Take care of yourselves because we love you.